DC KO issue 3, Scott Snyder and Joshua Williamson writing, with Xermanico and Javier Fernandez on the art. So we came back after Fight Month. We didn't have an issue of KO last month. Instead, we had 8 issues, either single one-shots or parts of ongoing series that were fight issues. I kind of suspected none of it would matter that much, and sure enough, a couple of pages into this, there's like just a page of like, here's all the winners and here's all the grayed out ones of the losers. I'm like, okay, that's all I need to know. That's it.
That has me covered, thank you.
Yep, that's all I needed. Which is not to say that I necessarily love this KO issue. I mean, it's fine, it's okay. I don't think it wowed me or anything though. I was kind of like over the like heroes fighting each other, to be honest, by this issue.
I feel that about the event in general. Like, it's fine, it's very gimmicky, right?
Yeah.
But like, this issue just really sums that up. Like, okay.
I do like that it's not just like a hero versus hero. There is different levels, and they are keeping us on our toes, although they're just making it up as they go as well. You know,
my problem though, Matt, is that it's just like more fights for fight's sake, when really like, I don't know, it feels you know, I think the word gimmick is perfect for this event because it is just one big gimmick and everything fits into the gimmick. But it's the type of gimmick that feels a bit more forced to me than, say, I don't know, like, okay, we're going to do the gimmick where this entire comic issue is one long scene. To me, that is technically a gimmick on like a sort of storytelling level, but it's not a gimmick that feels forced in the narrative, because the narrative can still unfold naturally within that gimmick.
Right.
This is a gimmick where, no, everything about the Heart of Apocalypse wanting a new champion, so we're going to have a tournament, and heroes that would never kill are going to kill each other to get to the like, everything about it is just forced into a lane.
And then on top of that, it feels like, especially in this issue, it's just excuses to go like, hey, remember this thing from DC history? And then like, even the reveal, they couldn't even stick to the surprise gimmick reveal and had to twist that up like 2 pages later.
So there are things in this book that early on I went, oh, hell yeah, this is, I like this is for me. And then I got to what I think Connor's talking about and almost threw my iPad. Well, and then I got to the deeper reveal. Within that reveal, I went, oh, come on.
Right. So here's the overview of this issue, right? Other than some ideas that they all get a fantasy of what their world that they could make looks like, and we see Superman wake up from it. The gimmick of this issue is that the 8 remaining competitors are forced to pick a partner, not from each other. They're supposed to pick a partner either from someone who has already lost in the tournament. Well, that's actually most of them, except Joker, who, because Joker's done the best so far, so he gets a special treat. He's allowed to pick.
He has the most Omega energy, because obviously he does.
But here's my thing with that, right? So they said, except for one of you who have, you know, and I hadn't read the Joker versus Red Hood. So when I got to Joker versus Red Hood, I'm expecting something different. And that issue was just a fight issue. Still, there wasn't like no tell of more Omega energy. And to me, who's been reading all of these, again, mind you, I've read them all. Superman getting in the last one, right? He got the Omega sanction. Technically, doesn't he have more Omega energy?
I mean,
probably, but plot reasons.
Yeah.
That's just getting into like fans, like sort of like, you know, who has the most power level bullshit. Like, honestly, this is just a hand wave thing away to just say he's the most chaotic, so therefore he technically has the most like apocalypse energy in him. Therefore, he gets the special treat, which he gets to pick a partner from anyone ever on any plane of existence. So we see them all pick their partners, right? And they're sort of debating, who do we pick? They're looking up at statues of the fallen people in the tournament, and we get the various pairings. Now, one of the interesting ones that stuck out to me early on was that Lex picks Supergirl. And I had the immediate thought, I'm like, wait a minute, when they pick someone here, are they just like an avatar of that person, or are they actually that person? Because I feel like the real Supergirl might have something to say about fighting alongside Lex Luthor and helping him win. So they do address that. Immediately, as soon as their fight starts, she turns to him and says, I'm not working with you, you bald prick, and just smashes him.
And Aquaman goes, it's 3-on-1, which I thought that was a good thing. I had a lot of fun with that one.
That was a funny moment. It was well done. That said, though, some of these other choices that are made, for example, Aquaman picks Hawkman. He picks the one he beat 2-0 in his one-on-one fight last time.
It's the pros.
Yeah. Well, no, but they jobbed Hawkman out just to give him a glorious return. You know,
it's very
like the
Hawkman, though, isn't it?
But he's picked a loser. Like he picked someone who's not won a fight. That's stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah, but hasn't everyone? Everyone's picked a loser.
Well, no.
Well, but I mean, but in his fight where there was like a best 2 out of 3, Hawkman's the only person who didn't win a single round.
Okay, yes, but I mean, some of these didn't even make it to that round, right?
Oh, true.
Yeah, but I just like, of all the people for Aquaman to pick, right? Of all the other heroes, you know, he picks the guy that he went up against, and again, they jobbed him out in the last round to make them tag team partners.
What I'm trying to say here, it feels like a petty pick. It's like, okay, I feel bad for humiliating him. I'm going to pick him to make him feel good about himself. That's what this feels like to me.
And then the other one that really annoyed me was Zatanna and Constantine, because I was like, again, Zatanna could have picked someone else, but of course she goes with the old tried and true.
Yeah, I mean,
it's one of those where it's kind of okay because it makes sense because they've got a history here, but you feel like she would have picked someone a bit more physical, right? To pair with her.
Counter. Kind of like Superman did with Shazam.
Guy picking Hal is just kind of a boring choice. There's nothing wrong with it, but it's just not that exciting.
No.
And then I think that Wonder Woman picking Bard is probably the other more inspired one. Like, I actually quite like that choice that she made. But you know, the other ones aren't that exciting to me all in. Like Cyborg picking Connor Hawke. Like, I mean, I'm like,
do you know what? No, I'm not having this. That whole thing where Cyborg's like, I picked you so I could copy your fighting because you're like the best fighter. I'm like, no, he's not. like if you wanted that logic, pick, I don't know, like one of the other like top tier fighters in the DCU.
Yeah, I don't know. Cassandra Cain, for example, springs to mind.
And why couldn't you just suddenly just copy their fighting style perfectly?
Yeah, also he infects Connor Hawke with nanobots, so he has the extra power from Cyborg. And even with that though, even you having Connor Hawke's fighting skills, Cyborg, and him having your extra, like, I don't know, Cyborg strength or whatever, you're fighting Wonder Woman and Big Barda. You two chumps are going down. You two are going down harder than any pair of characters have ever went down before.
This was, again, I hate to keep bringing up pro wrestling, but this is very pro wrestling. Cyborg and Connor Hawke were the team that's already in the ring, and they don't even get an entrance.
The jobbers, jobbers.
And, you know, and Barda and Wonder Woman get the big 6-minute entrance with fireworks. And you're just like, well, I know how this is going.
Yes.
But yeah, seeing Diana pick Barda, who, you know, the last year, Barda's really become one of my favorite characters. I was like, okay, cool. We get more Barda in this, because I thought she was taken out a bit too quickly at the beginning. And they get a real fun tag team moment too. So, you know, I got to fist pump there.
Yeah. But having said that though, once it just gets into the fights though, and we're just jumping from like these tag team matches to tag team match, I was just kind of bored. Like, most of it was just like, oh, we're just still doing fights. Like, none of this means anything, really. Yeah. So that bummed me out. And then obviously the big thing we've not talked about yet is that Joker has a mystery partner. We don't know who his partner is yet. And then when we get to the big reveal, he's like, who can I pick that matches my, you know, my laughter, my joy of the joke? And it looks like he picks the Batman Who Laughs. So we get 2 pages of him, and then it's like, no, it's not really him. It's actually Mxyzptlk. And he also turns Joker. Yeah, turns Joker into Emperor Joker. Yeah.
Which I just
womp womp.
I don't get the point of this. Like, why do the reveal of the Batman Who Laughs other than just to have 2 pages of Batman Who Laughs there? Like, right? It's so
to make me throw my iPad, Connor.
Yeah.
So I have to buy a new one.
Well, keep in mind, Snyder created that character. He's writing this book, so.
Yep. I went from Big Dumb Smile because of Barda and Diana to Batman Who Laughs, and went, and then I was like, oh, Mxyzptlk, come on. I was low-key expecting Batman, right? Because they made a big deal about it can be anybody, right? And then I'm thinking, well, Night Fight's going on, so maybe that's the reason why Night Fight exists. And then it ends with this moment where Batman by the end ends up getting picked by Joker, and now he has to team up with him. And what does that mean? Because he can't have Joker win. You know what I mean? So, like, how's this gonna go?
Yeah, I mean, I think that'd have been maybe a little too similar to the Supergirl Lex thing, at least to begin with. Obviously, that changes once Lex doses her with black, red, and other kryptonite that he's all merged together.
Synthetic party kryptonite is what that was.
So she turns into a big rage monster, which lets Lex win. But yeah, like, I don't know, like, Batman Who Laughs, I get the logic of picking Batman Who Laughs. Obviously, it turns out not to actually be him, which obviously defeats that logic.
I think that annoys me more. Like, I can, again, I don't like it, but I can understand Joker picking Batman Who Laughs, right? There's a twisted logic to that. The fact that they just 2 pages later they go, Joe, what? Wasn't actually him. Just forget about that. There was no reason to do those 2 pages.
Who would have been
anything?
I mean, admittedly, let's just pretend that we care about this tag team thing and picking a partner in the first place. Who is an interesting partner for Joker to pick? Like, who would actually be an interesting choice?
I don't know. Joker doesn't play well with others, right? So it's not like he has like a friendship with the other Bat Rogues.
That's why I think like a different version of Joker is fine. Right?
That makes the most sense. And I'm like, just pick Homelander or something. I don't know.
Like they could have picked play with like the 3 Jokers sort of thing, like picked a different Joker from like that.
Oh yeah, just picked another version of himself from another time period.
Yeah. Like, and again, like, because essentially that's kind of what the Batman Who Laughs is, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, so Batman again, mixed with Joker.
I wasn't mad at that reveal. I groaned a little bit because, of course, it's Batman Who Laughs, but like it made sense. What didn't make sense is just undoing it 2 pages later. Like, if you wanted to do Mixie and do the Emperor Joker thing, which is fine as well, I guess. It feels like it's there just for the reference, but sure, whatever. But doing the 2 back to back as just having it to fit in 2 references for no reason feels they wanted extra force.
2 reveal pages. They wanted 2 cheap pops, and they got their 2 cheap pops, and that was a bit.
Yeah, it was simultaneously the most Snyder thing he could have done, but also the most Williamson thing they could have done. Like I was like, that's actually kind of impressive, right? Like to do that.
So the other big things here to get to really would be, one, they go back to this whole game night, and that kind of been this like running metaphor for what Superman's like how he's playing this tournament, because it's like how he plays the game, and this idea of him not wanting to see other people lose and blah blah blah. The big thing though, and the other big like cheap pop double splash page kind of reveal later on, is that to combat the fact that Guy Gardner's going to make like a construct of kryptonite that does at least somewhat work, he reveals to Billy that he didn't just pick him to give him another chance. He picked him because he's got a unique ability that no one else does, and that is to share his power. So we get Shazam Superman to help him win his fight. So like that's a fine idea, because I think the reason why it works a little bit is because you can see what he's hinting at before you get to that splash page, so you get to anticipate, what's this going to look like? What's the fusion of Shazam Superman going to like? So
kind of ugly.
I mean, that's fair. Yeah,
that logo just looks like it's dripping.
But I like the white cape and the electrified hands. Like
I do like that. I like the color scheme's fine. It's just the actual logo with like the lightning bolt kind of like dripping off. It looks like someone spilled something down him.
Yeah, I think there's a better way they could have fused the logos together, but I mean, it's fine. Like, you know what? It's not like a super serious thing. It's a one-time gimmicky, like, this is how he's going to win the fight.
If it was me, I would have kept kept the shield, but replaced the S with the lightning bolt.
I can see that.
Well, and that's right before that's after Hal hits him with a synthetic version of Black Mercy, like a construct version, and it looks like that's it for Superman.
Part of me wants to complain about this a little bit, because the level of speed of which Superman just fights this off and like beats it when it's supposed to be this thing that almost killed him. I mean, I get it, it's a construct, it's not the real thing,
right?
But it's like, I don't know, it just feels a bit easy.
It's another one that just feels like a cheap reference. And I feel like if you wanted to do this, which is, like I said, it's a bit cheap, but if you wanted to do it, that needed to be one of the tie-in issues, right? That needs to be an issue of Superman.
It needs to be a full issue,
So, like you can't have it be done over like what, a page, 2 pages?
It's like a one-page thing where it's like, he's got his whole family, but also Krypton still exists and the elves are still here. Like all good parts of what he had and what he's not had are all coming together.
Yeah, it plays with his fantasy version of what he's going to do if he's going to win, which I do like to bring a positive in. There is that through line of Superman doesn't have the Constitution to put things back better. He'll put them back the way they were, And so I like that through line here, that this is what like Superman's ultimate would look like if he had given the choice, right? Like there's nothing ever wrong, and there's almost no need for any of them. So I do like that they touch on that just a little bit, and through the Black Mercy vision, we get to see a little bit more of it.
The one thing I genuinely really like in this issue, right? There's some things that I think are all right and are entertaining enough, like moment, like Barda like being thrown by Wonder Woman. That's just a fun actiony moment, but it's the moment after Superman wins his fight and he looks over at Lex, who's also won, and he says that Lex is looking at him with adoration, like a look that he's never really seen before. This idea that Lex is finally kind of approving of something that he's done, and how that implies a chill going down Superman's spine of like, wait, I've just impressed Lex Luthor. Something's not right here. Like, that is actually a good little moment to like touch on. So I appreciate that. Yeah. All right.
And there was a little footnote too, that's in the narration with the Heart of Apocalypse about how the Heart of Apocalypse is also able to kind of what's the word I'm looking for? Corrupt some of these people through this destination power, but with some of the people that are left, it's proving to be more difficult because it mentions Captain Atom. And I was like, well, we didn't need any of that, because that didn't come through in that issue with Captain Atom really at all. It just seemed like he wanted to win the fight against Superman. He didn't do anything different. So I feel like them throwing that in there was a bit later than it could have been.
Yeah.
But yeah,
So the
final four.
Yeah, the final four are Joker, Lex, Superman, and Wonder Woman, which is not a surprising final four, honestly, all things considered. And they get transported to what at first one of them thinks is Apocalypse, and they're like, no, don't be silly, this isn't Apocalypse, this is some just alternate version of Earth. And the reveal is they're going to fight the absolute Trinity next round. But it's not really them. It feels like it's just like a manifestation of them.
Yeah.
This is why I really don't like this. This is like, in an issue full of cheap pops, this is the ultimate cheap pop.
Yeah.
But because I'm excited for the real versions of these characters meeting the absolute versions, but that's not what this is. We're not meeting the real characters yet.
We haven't even had the real version of these absolute characters form a trinity yet.
No, we've had our first pairing recently, but that's bad.
Yeah, but they're not a thing yet in that world. And I don't know, this being the first instance of that is not exciting to me at all. Well,
and don't forget we got Booster Darkseid as well.
Oh, don't remember. How could I forget Booster Darkseid?
which again, having read all 8 of the fight issues now, those interludes don't have any sense of flow. It is just stuff happening and us going back to things that are like, well, now Gorilla Grodd is fighting him, and now he's,
honestly, I think you've just summed up this event. There is no flow to any of this event. From what I've read, it just feels like there's stuff happening, and
but I would say there is a flow in this with the gimmicks of it. You know what I mean? Like, we each round
there's a formula, but I don't think there's a flow.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, what's the difference between a formula and a flow?
Well, a flow implies momentum and implies that one event's like naturally leading to the next one. A formula is just like a set of order that you just keep doing things in because it's
I don't think there ever is any momentum moving things on. It always just feels like, this is the stage we're on now. Let's do this stage, tick all these boxes, and then, that's done now. Here's the next thing. And it doesn't feel like there's any reason to progress to the next thing.
And it's very literal as well, where they just literally get whisked away to a completely new realm, where the Heart of Apocalypse just makes entire worlds for them to live in and fight in. Like, everything about it feels very video gamey, and like a way that just feels non-tactile.
There is no flow from the end of the fights in this issue to, okay, we're doing absolute apocalypse stuff now. Like, it's just that's just what we're doing next.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just I'm whelmed.
Yes,
I'm simply whelmed.
So I liked moments in this, but as a whole, I don't know how much. I did not like this last page because, again, this is not my absolute heroes. I can just look at them and they seem off.
Sadistic Batman grin.
Yeah, it's not really them. Which, I mean, maybe the point of this in the long term of like building to whenever they do interact with those characters is that they're going to have like a weird view of them. But then, having said that, that's assuming that the characters in this tournament even remember the tournament once this is all done, which I'm not even convinced they will.
No. Maybe the winner will.
Maybe the winner
ends up being. Yeah.
Well, and then they have with the things that are being hinted based off of like upcoming events, it feels like Superman's going to have to be the one that wins and then vanishes, right?
Yeah, presumably. Yeah, I would
because
assume so.
it definitely seems like we're approaching a period of books without Superman.
Yeah, Matt's favorite type of period.
Hey, he's got Reign of the Superboys to cover. It's fine.
You just made me sad because I forgot about that, Connor.
Yes, I love.
And I just remember Superboy Prime is now starring in one of them, and now I think I put it together. Why?
Yeah, so that Superman's going to win this, and then as either sacrifices or it has to go, not be part of the new world that is made, so to speak.
He's gonna have to sit at the base of the world tree.
Yeah, he's going to do the whole like Atlas holding up the world thing. Like,
Yep.
Which is whatever. Do you know what I want to say, to put a positive note in here, which is not even a positive about the event itself? I want to say how happy I am that despite like how gimmicky this is and how it's infected a couple of ongoings with its tie-ins, but I want to say just how nice it is that there's been so much good DC stuff outside of anything that KO's touched that it's not even like really dampened my enthusiasm week to week. It's just the event itself is pretty gimmicky and it's getting worse as it goes.
I would agree, but it has knocked me off a couple of books I was reading that I've dropped Aquaman now. I probably would have stuck with it, but two tie-in issues in a row, and I just went nope.
I don't know that anyway.
Me and Pete got what, 4 or 5 in?
Well, I got like 3 in, and I said F this. Okay. You read like one more and said, you know what? You're smart, Peter. That was the right choice you made.
It wasn't like great, but I was reading it, right? And then
you
it
just
got to
like
the tie-in issue.
King Arthur.
I was like, you know what?
And the Lady of the Lake.
Yeah, basically. And I mean, even the main Superman book, like, it's just like, oh, it's tie-ins. I don't want to read them. And then I'm like, oh, do I have to go back to it after, or can I wait till there's a nice refresh point?
I mean, I didn't read the last Superman. I'm happy to go back to it once the KO stuff's done, because it will be a relatively, because especially if Superman's not there, it'll be like a fresh status quo that we're in. So I'm not worried about that. But like, between all the Absolute books and all the good Bat books that are on right now, yeah.
Since I got back into comics, 20 plus years ago, this is like the 4th time we've done a no Superman thing. So we had War World, we've had New Krypton, we've had, I'm trying to think of some
52.
others. I know I said 4, but yeah, 52. Like, this happens a lot, man.
That was the whole Trinity 52, to be fair, but yeah.
It was, but he's still there.
Yeah.
It wasn't, that was the point.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
So I just, like, while I think this event's just kind of a bit whatever, I don't think it's actually impacting how I feel about DC as a whole. In fact, there's a lot of positive things going on right now. There's a lot of positive new books coming out. I don't know, because sometimes I feel like when the big event that they're pushing sucks, it really drags everything down. I don't think that's quite happened with this. I feel like a lot of what I like about DC has remained untouched, and it's not like Joshua Williamson's Superman was the thing that I was like super excited for each month anyway. I was kind of lukewarm in that book. So,
I agree. It's all books I was already like on. Justice League Unlimited is the other one.
Yeah.
Where I'm like,
well, yeah, that.
Am I going to go back to that after these 2 tie-in issues that I'm not going to read? No, probably not.
Matt's shaking his head like there's a good 50-50 shot of you going back to that, Matt.
It depends on how busy that book is. How busy that week is.
Yeah, don't worry. Matt will read at least a few more Unlimited issues.
I was reading it. I wasn't loving it, but it was fine. And then and then now there's okay, I'm skipping 2 issues for tie-ins or whatever it is, 3 issues, and I'm like, okay, I'm probably done.
There's been more than that.
Well, it was because there was tie-ins to World's Finest, because it was like a crossover for like a while as well.
Yeah.
So
the terrific 10 really let me down, because it had a whole lot of promise, and with every issue it got worse. So
anyway, so I thought this was a mediocre issue, very gimmicky, very kind of cheap pops left and right, reveals that are just there for the shock page turn kind of value and nothing more. And then ultimately, like, I got to the end of this and felt like, yeah, most of the fights are kind of meaningless because it doesn't really matter, because they are just fights for fight's sake for the tournament. So at the end, I'm like, yeah, it could have been an email. You could have just told me who won these, and we could have moved on.
This issue could have been a wiki entry.
Yeah. So,
but guys, we had Barda and Diana teaming up, and she had Barda shoot things or what was it? Throw punches at her bracers, and it created a sonic boom.
Yeah, that's a fun idea for a fighting moment, but
that was so cool.
It would be cooler if it was actually in a fight that mattered in like the context of the world, and they'd remember it afterwards. Like those things would all make it feel more, because that would be like their friendship would be even stronger after that.
Yeah.
Do you know what the thing is? You have that one page where near the start where it's like, here's all the things from last time, like from Fight Month.
Mm-hmm.
All you need is that, and then the updated bracket that you'll get at the end. That's it. I don't need anything else from this
most
issue.
of us, it's fluff, and it does that thing where, you know how like we always talk about stakes, or like just saying that everything's at stake basically means there's no stakes because it doesn't really mean anything. This is like the epitome of that, where literally all of existence needs to be saved by the winner of this tournament, but it just feels like, well, obviously we're not going to end the universe, we're going to keep going, so it doesn't really feel like there is stakes. You know, it's like so many stakes become negative stakes at a certain point.
Yeah. At least the art's solid, though.
Oh yeah, they are good.
Solid.
I don't know. It's two good artists. I have no complaints.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's a good looking book. All right, we're so enthusiastic. Matt, what are you rating DCKO 3?
Well, I'm giving the Diana and Barta moment a 9, but the book as a whole, no, giving it a 7. So I think I had way more fun with this than you guys did, but I also am, living in the worst timeline, so any type of distraction.
What are you giving it, Connor?
I'm going to give it a very generous 5.
Yes, very good. And then
we're back at it, guys.
I don't know what I would even give it, to be honest. I think there's enough just hollow entertainment, I think, to get it over the 5. But how high do I want to go? I will give it a 6. I'll split the difference and call it a 6. I think that moment with Superman noticing Lex is impressed with what he's just done is a genuinely good moment that gives it a little bit of a boost.